Steve Gagdana, welcome to Maths for this week. We are doing length, the topic of length, because it can help us with our engineering week activities and our STEM challenges, because we might need to measure the length of something, estimate the length, we might need to use something as particular length, so we're going to do length in our maths. When we're talking about measuring length, we're talking about how long something is. We're measuring how long it is, or you could use the words height, the height of something, measuring how high something is. And usually that's going up and down, like measuring the height of a building or a tree or a person, how tall they are. You can also measure the width of something, how wide it is. And that's usually going across, like this. So how wide is the table? So the table, you'll be measuring this part of it. How wide is a pool going across? How wide is the door to get through? Okay, so that's what we're working on this week, length, and measuring in different ways with length. So it's page 92 to 98 of your book, and like every week, you do not have to complete all these pages. And actually you can't complete some of them because they are for doing in a classroom. And we're not in a classroom, but we can do little bits of each page at home. And as always, we'll do it together right now. So the first way that we are going to measure is using our fingertip. Okay? And we are using our fingertip because it's an roundabout way to measure around 1 centimeter, which we'll be doing a little bit later in the book. But if we look at our rulers, it's hard to see, but 1 centimeter is almost always in and around 1 fingertip. Okay, I'm going to use my baby finger because my fingers are a bit fatter than yours and your fingers are a little smaller, but 1 fingertip is approximately 1 centimeter. So the first activity you're going to be doing will be measuring in fingertips, estimating, so guessing first, and you actually did this in your workout last week, guessing first, and then actually measuring. Okay, that's the first activity. The next way you're going to be measuring is with meters. So meters are bigger than centimeters, okay? And I'll be measuring with you. We'll be getting a meter measure. But usually, if you don't have one, if a centimeter is around the size of your fingertip, a meter is usually, I can't fit in the screen, the size of your arm span. So if you put your arms out from one side to the other, that's usually around a meter, okay? Hold on, I'm going to get up from the chair. So like, can't fit in. Put your arms out. There we go. That's a meter approximately. Okay? An arm span. So that will help us to measure around a meter around the house. Next, our lesson will be looking at an actual meter and learning more about what a meter is made up of. So we're going to learn more about a meter. After that, we're going to actually use our rulers. So I hope you have a ruler at home. If you don't worry. We will learn how to use a ruler. And if you don't, I'll do it for you. We'll do it here in the video. So we're going to use a ruler. And after that, we put everything together of what we've learned. And there are some puzzles to solve at the end. So that's our lesson for the week. Let's get going. Okay. So to show you how to measure with fingertips, I'm going to measure my pencil. Okay. First, we're going to estimate, which means give a good guess as to how many fingertips it will take on the pencil. Then we actually measure, and then we have the actual measurement answer at the end. So first we estimate, then we actually measure, and then we give our answer. Okay? So, estimating. I am going to think, I'm having a look, I'm not even going to go near, I'm just going to think it might be around 20 fingertips. My estimate that my pencil is going to be around 20 fingertips, okay? Now there's one main thing that you need to remember is that you can't just go along and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. You have to be very exact when you're measuring, and even if using fingertips, has to be exact, okay? So, 1, okay? Best way to do it is get your other fingertip and put it right down beside it so that there's no gap in between, so that you're measuring exactly the length of this pencil with the fingertips. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So my pencil is 14 fingertips long. I'd estimated 20, so the difference between the two is 6 fingertips. So I was out of it, but that's okay. Estimating is just giving a guess. That helps you when you're engineering or building something or anything in life. You have to give a guess first so that you think you know how much you might need, so that you're kind of ready. And so it's like exactly 14. So now your turn. You can go around your house estimating things around the house, or in your pencil case, your bíró, your scrishon, cadatáid the Valascola. Can you measure your fingertips? How many fingertips are the different items in the Valascola? Or there's a nice activity in your book on page 92 where they want you to measure either the height or the width of some pirate items. Okay, so that's activity 1. So to help me with the next activity, which is measuring in meters, I have found a really handy little measuring tape. Okay, a bit like Mary Poppins. Woo! And I'm going to measure exactly 100 centimeters, which is a meter. And as I said, it's your arms stretched out around that. So if you don't have the exact measurement, that's okay. Use your arms or get help, maybe from mom or dad with their measuring tape. Get a piece of string and cut it to the length of 1 meter, which I have done. And I know, because measuring tapes are a little bit dangerous because you can cut your hands with them, I know that my piece of string is 1 meter, so now I'm ready to go around measuring in meters. Okay, I'm going to go around my house to find something that's longer than this meter and something that's shorter than this meter, shorter. So straight away, I have one thing. My whiteboard, look, my meter goes way off down there. So my whiteboard is shorter than the meter. There we go. And I think I'm estimating before I go over there that my shelves are higher, longer than a meter. So let's go see. Okay, there's the top. Oh yeah, I don't have enough string. My meter is not long enough, so my shelves are longer than my meter. Shelves. So, what you can do to do that activity is on page 93, just this little piece here. Make a list of objects longer than a meter, shorter than a meter. And don't forget, you can just use your arms. Okay, so a little bit of information about the meter. The meter, whether it's on a measuring tape or the meter stick at school or the piece of string that I cut, they're all a meter. And I wish we were at school to show you this on an actual meter stick. You might be able to, if with help at home, look on a measuring tape. But we'll pretend that this on the board is 1 meter, okay? So 1 meter is made up of 100 centimeters. So around 100 fingertips fit all along a meter, but exactly 100 centimeters. 100 centimeters makes up 1 meter. Okay? So it starts at 0 and there's 100 centimeters all the way up to 100, and that is a meter. Stop there. You start another meter then for the next 100, and each 100 is a meter more. So if you have 200 centimeters, that's 2 meters. If you have 500 centimeters, that would be 5 meters. If you had 900 centimeters, that would be 9 meters. So remember your fractions? What would you have if you cut a meter stick in half? Half of a meter, half of 1 meter. Okay, what would it be? How many centimeters would it be? So if the whole meter stick is 100, what's half? What's half of 100? Yes, it's 50. So you just really need to remember and learn nearly that half of a meter is 50 centimeters. And again, what's a quarter of a meter? Okay, remember what I've told you. A quarter, to find a quarter, it's half and half again. What's half of 50? 25. So, 1/4. So look, it's broken into 4. Each is a quarter. 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4. Altogether 4 quarters. 2 quarters is half. There's 3 quarters. There's the whole. 1/4 is 25. Half is 50. And then another 25. So 25 and 25 and 25 is 75 centimeters. And then you have your 100. So 4 25s, add it all up. 25, 25, 25, and 25, you get 100. Okay? So that's your quarters. 25, 50, 75. So your book, you possibly can complete this part. They break it up into lovely colours, a meter, divided into tens, divided into halves, divided into quarters, and there's some true or false questions there about the meter, the 100 centimeter, what's half, what's 1/4, and all those. So you could get that little bit done. These are kind of, you can try them, but they're kind of classroom things. Okay, the next activity is measuring on a ruler. And there are some important tips to remember when you're measuring with a ruler, okay? If you can see, I hope you can see because I'm on the front facing camera. There's a little gap here. You do not start measuring from here, okay? This bit. You start measuring at the first line. The reason they leave this bit is if your ruler breaks off a corner, you can still use it. So you need to start at 0, okay? Forget this edgy part. You start at this line, that's where you start measuring. You keep your ruler really flat on the object so that you can't say it's around 4, 10, 11. You have to look really carefully at the lines that are on the ruler to be very exact about measuring. So let's give it a go. Okay, to measure my pencil, I'm doing it up in the air to show you. I'm starting at the edge, see at the 0. The line exactly at the edge of the pencil over to the tip of the pencil, okay? Where does the tip of the pencil exactly stop? Well, I have to look myself at this. And it stops at, I would say 17. It doesn't go all the way to 18, so it's between 17 and 18 centimeters. I would say around 17.5 centimeters. But so I'm being very exact, going from the 0 to the very last line of the pencil. So in your book on page 95, they have a ruler for you, and they want you to look from the 0 to the end of the pen. What's that? A paper clip. How long is it? How many centimeters? How long is this marker? How long is this spoon? And look, they're all starting at 0. You can also down here yourself use some of your Ruddiatá, the Vala Scola, and measure those. Marcori, Pian Louis, Scrishon, Spoonog, things like that. So give that a go. And this is for you over here to actually practice measuring yourself with your ruler. They want you to measure the length of the snails. And look, start at 0. And he is 4 centimeters long. Look. How high is this one? And do you know what I use? The little arrows to help. Look, he's 4 centimeters tall. So you have to practice measuring these snails, which is a fun activity. Now I'm going to do another video with the last, the problems, because it's gone too long. So those are the first few pages and first few activities in length this week.